If you need, Stefan.
Should have done it. You could have had the camera with you.
Try me on 303 if you need me. 303.
I've got a spare one at home.
Where are you? Eddie's back?
Say it again.
Okay. Right.
Who are you talking to, honey?
Stefan.
I want to speak to her. Well, it's okay. As long as you're giving me all this information. Did you say an air attack?
No.
No.
I told you remember that a chemical head in North.
You didn't tell me that.
She said that she told you.
What?
The Ben Basat said a chemical head in Tel Aviv, Rehov Yirmiyahu.
Okay, Tom, I'm ready to speak to Tom. We have a report from our ham operator, chemical warhead in Tel Aviv. Yirmiyahu? Well, Tom, this gas mask may come in useful after all. We've been told that one of the warheads that fell in central Tel Aviv had a chemical warhead. That's from our man who's listening to the police frequencies, but with... I think I will, actually, this time. No time for heroics. And Annie, just help me do this, eh? Just help me do it. Just do it, just do it.
Cool.
I don't have much air, is this okay?
Yes, that's it.
This is the amount of air I got?
This is the news flash now.
They're saying don't go to bomb shelter, don't go to bomb shelter, and stay with your mask in the sealed room.
Okay, I've got it. New York, this is Fletcher speaking through my gas mask, just to check. Can you hear me okay? I hear you in my ears perfectly. Okay, we also have 3 missiles falling in the north of Israel. Safat and Haifa. Citizens have been told to what? Stay in the sealed rooms, put gas masks on.
Yeah, and don't go to bomb shelter.
I can talk to you, Don. I'm not sure if you can hear me through this thing. It's like being in an aquarium. But we have just got a report that 3 more missiles have fallen in the north of Israel. We don't know if there's a chemical warhead there or not. There's been an announcement on the radio that all citizens should put their gas masks on. They should stay in their sealed rooms, which would normally be in a high place in their building. They should not go down to the basement, to the bomb shelters, which is where you go for conventional war. So it's clear that the Israeli government is fearing, well, it's happening, as we know, gas wars. We don't know how many of these warheads are gas, how many are conventional. At least 1 gas warhead, at least 1 conventional warhead, we know that. It's a bit difficult to talk, Tom, here. No, Tom. This is good for most kinds of gas war. It's when you're outside and various other kinds of mustard gas, for instance, different kinds of nerve gas. They come down and they settle on your skin, but you have to be outside for that to fall on top of you. And so we are prepared. Actually, I have all the kind of injections here and powder to brush off my skin. But as long as I stay in this sealed room, this is the only device I need. Well, Tom, the civil defense has been preparing for this very thing for weeks, and they've got a very sophisticated system where they can find out not only whether it is any gas war, but what kind of gas it is. That's the critical thing for the citizen to know what kind of chemical war he's facing, because some gases kill you instantly, within seconds. Others will only harm you. Some can blind you. You have to know what you're facing, and that's, well, there's not much I can add to that, Tom. I really don't know too much about how they do that, but they certainly have a developed system to do it. Well, you know, obviously it's a plan. It's the trap that the West has feared. It's the trap that Saddam Hussein has tried to set for the West. An attack on Israel, which Israel would then retaliate against, dragging the Arab countries, breaking up the coalition. It's a trap. Everyone knows that. It depends which Arabs we're talking about, Tom. No. That's right, Tom. Well, the verdict here, he made several ambiguous statements. The verdict here is that among the government here is that Mubarak would stay out. Egypt would stay out. Egypt did recognize the right of Israel to retaliate if attacked. Even Syria has said that if Israel is attacked by another Arab country, then Syria would not necessarily intervene if Israel retaliated against that Arab country. One has to remember one thing, that those Arab states that are lined up with the United States against Iraq are countries that have their own interests at stake. And Syria, for instance, which is always seen as a weak link in the alliance, the American alliance against Iraq, Syria is a long-term enemy of Iraq with very definite interests, which culminate in deposing Saddam Hussein. So my bet would be that because of the nature of this attack, especially if there are many chemical warheads, I'd say that personally that the Arab coalition against Iraq would stand. Of course, I'm speculating, but I would say so. And don't forget one thing: in terms of sheer instant power, if Israel, with its air force, with its military power, were to take the place of those Arab states lined up with the United States, the combined American-Israeli fighting power, on an instant basis, in America would be vastly strengthened by having Israel on its side. However, of course, that would terribly complicate the post-war period.
Hello? כן, רק שנייה, כן. מי זה? זה כן, אנחנו צריכים לשמוע מכם מה קורה.
What do we hear, guys?
כן. איפה?
We got to make sure that Mueller is wearing his mask.
כן. מישהו אמר שהיה ברחוב ירמיהו
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I count 12 or 13 rockets.
Okay. What is the police saying, Martin?
Police spokesman not saying anything yet.
ושמענו גם פה בהרצליה. לא, שמענו את הפיצוצים בהרצליה, אני אומר.
Ben Hanani?
כן, רק שנייה, דקל. איפה אתם עכשיו? Right, אוקיי, תחכו ותהיו בקשר איתנו. Okay.
I'm finding it a bit hard to breathe in this bloody thing.
Okay, בסדר, take it easy, זה הכל. איפה שמעת את זה? בית אחד נהרס, איזה בית, איזה גודל? כנראה בית דירות נהרס בפיצוץ.
Right now, see what happens. Let's go into that shop over there. There's some people in the shop. So you coming? Thank you.
You're welcome.
How you doing? How you doing? What's happening? Put the mask on.
נקרא לכם עכשיו את הודעת דובר צה"ל עקב התקפת טילים על ישראל ופעלה הזנקת אמת. לחזור תושבי שור לחבוש מיד את הבתים ולהסתגר בחדר האטום. לאחר כניסת המשפחה לחדר יש לאטום את מפתן דלת הכניסה, לסגור את הפרטות ואת המשקוף סביב. יש להדליק בסרט הדלקה. יש להפסיק מיד את פעולת
Never don't let it like that. Okay, try to breathe now. So I made the first basic mistake, I left the cover on the filter.
מופעל הנוהל המקובל בזמן שכזה, אתם שומעים עכשיו הזעקת אמת, אבל אין מה לחפש, זה הכי דבר יש להיכנס לשם.
אני חייבת להתקשר, נגיד לאבא לשם בצד, אנחנו אמרתי שאנחנו יוצאים. זה לא יכול שאנחנו בדרך.
Let's go and see what's happening outside.
עכשיו נשמיע את ההודעות האלה באנגלית ובשפות נוספות.
It's all deadly quiet. Now everybody's just waiting to see what happens. Is this a real alarm? Will the Scots fall? Will the Patriots be fired? Or is it a false alarm? We'll see soon. Up in it. Jeff, it's Martin. Just so you know, we're in Tel Aviv. We're really... Any idea what's going on? Okay, let me stay on the line until you find out what's going on, okay? Okay, let's do that.
לא, זה ברק.
Yeah, Scott. Okay, we see the Scott. We see the Patriot being fired. Yeah, we're seeing a Patriot being fired in town. Yeah.
כן, מה שאתם שומעים עכשיו, גבירותיי ורבותיי, זוהי הפסקת אמת. כל תושבי ישראל מתבקשים לחבוש מיד את המסכות ולהסתגר בחדר האטום. זאת חובה להוציא את הפקקים מן המסללים. לא עשו בשום פנים ואופן לחבוש מסכות כאשר הפקקים עדיין...
I'm not able to sail the ship, I guess, but I saw the year before. Yeah. Tell me something, what year we didn't try that before?
כמובן, אתם יודעים על שכנים, בני משפחה, שאולי עבדו, אולי לא שומעים איתו, אינם מבינים עברית, או בכל משום כל סיבה אחרת. הודיעו להם, צמצרו אליהם, והודיעו להם שישנה הזקה ועליהם להיכנס לחדרים הפנימיים ולחבוש את המסכות. עכשיו מוסרים לי מאשקלון עד חברון, בקו הזה, שמאשקלון עד חברון, ודרומה, אפשר להכניס את המסכות, אבל להישאר בחדרים הפנימיים. ובכן, כל מי שמתאר לנגד עיניו במבט ישראל, בקו הדמיוני הזה, המחבר את אשקלון ודרומה משם, כל התושבים באזורים האלה יכולים להסיר את המסכות, אבל בשאר האזורים להישאר בחדרים אדומים. למה למשל דובר צה"ל על הקו הטלפוני של עמוד נתנה?
שלום, בשלב זה אני לא שמעתי בדיוק בהודעה שלכם.
אתה יכול לחזור.
ההודעה היא כוללת ברגע הזה, חדרים אדומים ומסכות. ואנחנו עוקבים אחרי עכשיו.
ההודעה אומרת שבכל אזורי הארץ עדיין תישאר גבול.
אנא, תקשיב ותשמע לי. בינתיים, עד שאני מודיע אחרת, זאת ההודעה היחידה. ואני אמשיך לעדכן אתכם בהקדם.
נחמן, השאלה הופנתה אליך פשוט משום שכרגע נשמע לנו ההודעה.
Hello, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Hello, Jeff. Huh? Listen up. Hello, Jeff. You can hear me? Okay, Jeff. Can you hear me, Jeff?